What's up, everybody? Luigi here, and I'm back with Dadcast Games, episode 13. Today, I have two topics that I want to talk about. Well, two video games that I want to talk about. But before I get into that, I want to send a huge shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Today is May 10th, so if any mother out there celebrates Mother's Day on May 10th, shout out to you. Happy Mother's Day. Big hug from Dadcast Games from Luigi here. I celebrate Mother's Day twice, kind of, because I'm Mexican. And in Mexico we celebrate Mother's Day on May 10th. So we celebrate my mama every May 10th, and then the American, what is it, like the second Sunday of May. So, happy Mother's Day, Mama. Feliz Dia de las Madres. Te quiero mucho. I love you. Mwah. With that being said, this is Dadcast Games. I have a question for all the dads out there. If you're a dad, do you celebrate Mother's Day, or do you give your wife a Mother's Day gift? Let me know why or why not. Me personally, I don't necessarily celebrate her because she's not my mom, right? And my wife gets pissed off about that. And but what I do is I take my kids and I, give them some money, have them buy their mom a little something. Doesn't have to be anything big. And or sometimes we just take her out. But my wife has gotten pissed off at me in previous years because I've told her, because I haven't given her anything. I just have the kids give her something small, and she's like, "How come you didn't get me anything?" I'm like, "Well, because you're not my mom." But I don't know. Any dads out there, let me know. Do you guys celebrate your wife as well as for Mother's Day? I would say I kind of do and I kind of don't. But my wife gets mad because I always tell her, "Well, you're not my mom." And I just do it playing around. But yeah, she does get like, "What the hell? We didn't give me anything." But I do have my kids get her stuff. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the episode.
You're listening to Dadcast Games.
All right, guys. So first game that I want to talk about right now is gonna be Hogwarts Legacy. So we're in May now. The game released back in February. I played the crap out of it all throughout March, and I beat it back in March. Like at the end of March, I beat the game. So I did beat it 100%. I got all the achievements for the Xbox Series X. My gameplay footage is on YouTube, so if you want to check it out, my YouTube channel is Dadcast Games with no spaces on youtube.com. So, Hogwarts Legacy. There's a lot of things that I had a lot of fun with, but then there are also a bunch of things that I was just like, I don't think it was necessary. So I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna, change it up between the good and the bad. I'm just gonna say what comes to mind because I don't have any script or anything. It's just all coming out. Just see, I don't know. There's nothing scripted. So starting off, the game was a lot of fun just because I'm a Harry Potter fan, and as I mentioned before, if you've heard any of my other episodes, I started reading Harry Potter back when I was 10 years old. And I believe the first two books had already released back then. But when I read that first book, man, just thinking about getting your Hogwarts letter when you turned 11 was exciting to me as a kid, right? So I got so into that world that I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to get a letter, thinking that it was real. As a kid, I don't know, everything, it's all fantasy. You think that it might be real, so you kind of hope and, cross your fingers that it is real. But it wasn't. So when I got Hogwarts Legacy, it was so much fun just receiving that letter, seeing your name on there. I don't know, I got excited for, it was a fun experience seeing that letter, that Hogwarts letter saying that you were accepted to Hogwarts. So that was cool, right? It was very exciting. You start off the game, start doing your little magic and here and there, and then you get to do the ceremony, right? The sorting ceremony. Unfortunately, I don't think I did it the way the game was intended to, because I connected my Pottermore account or whatever, the Harry Potter website, to my game. So it automatically selected what the house was, and I am a Gryffindor. So I would have loved to see what the process was for selecting your house in the game. And I didn't look up videos. I didn't bother to look it up. I was just excited to play the game. But, that was kind of cool getting to see that. After that, you start exploring Hogwarts, and that was really fun. Like exploring all of the things that Hogwarts had to offer. I'm pretty sure I didn't see everything, but a lot of the funny things that happened, like seeing some of the statues, fighting each other or like breaking, like jumping each other. It was hilarious. A lot of hilarious things. So, like, I don't want to spoil too much, but if I do have any spoilers, I'm sorry for those out there who haven't played it, because it is a game that I recommend you guys to play. But yeah, I played the game. I beat the whole game. I did all the side quests. I got all the 100% on everything in the for everything that you have to do in the game, right? I got all the achievements. So I do want to mention something. If you guys are planning to play this game at all, and if you're an achievement hunter, I guess that's different, right? If you want to get all the achievements, great. But if you're just in it to play the game, my biggest recommendation is enjoy the story, enjoy the gameplay, and don't focus too much on a lot of the side quests. You don't need them. A lot of them are very, in my opinion, are very boring, bland, and repetitive. It's a lot of fetch quests, like, go get this, go get that. You know, there's a lot of that happening as well to progress through the main story. But like, aside from that, if you're not doing the main story, if you're doing side questing, like, that's pretty much all you're doing, just running around doing this, grabbing that, taking it to somebody else, and that's about it. So all the side questing stuff to me was a little bit boring, aside from the stuff that you have to do for the main quest. So if you just play through the main story, I believe that you're going to have a good time, you're going to have fun with it. And I don't think you need to do any of all the other side stuff. Like, just play through the story. That's my recommendation to you. If you play the game, just play through the story, enjoy the main quest, and I think you'll have a good time. Now, if you're an achievement hunter, I'm I'm not an achievement hunter anymore. I used to want to 100% everything, get all the achievements. Not anymore, man. Like, I don't have the patience for it. I did it for this one just because it's Harry Potter stuff, Hogwarts. I felt the need that I needed to do that. So I did it, but it wasn't worth it, dude. Like, it was so tedious, like very annoying. A lot of the, like I said, a lot of side quest stuff were very annoying. Oh, and by the way, I did play it on the hardest difficulty. I started off in normal, and it was super easy. It was too easy, so I bumped up the level, and that actually gave you a challenge a little bit later on, until you unlock some of the more powerful spells, which just makes the easy completely simple. But yeah, back to what I was saying. If you're an achievement hunter and you want to beat the whole game 100%, in my opinion, it is not worth it, dude. It is not worth it, because you technically have to get to a certain spot in the game, which is called the map room, with every single house. So if you did it as a Gryffindor, you have to also do it as a Slytherin, as a Hufflepuff, and as a Ravenclaw. So all four houses, you have to get to that map room in order to get all 100% of the achievements in the game, or the trophies. So in order to do that, it takes about more or less 2 hours of gameplay of each house to get to that map room. And that's if you're just like rushing through it, not worrying about anything. It's just doing that main story. It takes you about 2 hours to do that. So if you think about it, once you beat the game, however much time you spend on it, 20, 30 hours in it, plus you have to think about adding at least another, what is it, 2, 4, 6 more hours of gameplay just to get to the map room with each of the houses. So I don't know. That was very tedious, very boring, and I didn't like that. But now, other than that, the game is freaking amazing. So like I said, if you do play it, I suggest you play the game, just the main story. Like, don't worry too much about the side questing stuff. Play through the story. It's such an amazing adventure, such an amazing game. What I do wish the game did though, and or what it lacked, was more action. So you're playing through the game, right? There's a lot of exploration. You get to explore the castle, Hogwarts Castle. You get to explore Hogsmeade. Then you get to explore, all the areas around Hogwarts and Hogsmeade, which is all the little, like, I don't know what they call them in game, but the little towns or the little villages or whatever. So there's a lot of exploration to do. The Forbidden Forest, you get to explore that, which is pretty cool. But I just wish there was more action to it all. So by the time you get to the end of the game, there's a section where there's nothing but like you're running through, and there's a lot of explosions here, a lot of explosions there. You're fighting a bunch of goblins and all that cool stuff. And I wish the game had a little bit more of that. So the ending, it ends with like a big pow, explosion, excitement, you know, pretty awesome music, that gets you like, oh shit. But it's just literally the ending. Like they don't really do that throughout the game, and I wish there was a bit more of that. And more like, what do I want to say? Like more boss battles. Like I wish there was like more boss fights or boss battles. You have a couple here and there, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really seem like a boss battle. It just seems like, oh, it's just another step to get, to become a better wizard or whatever. It doesn't give you that satisfaction of like, oh man, I just beat this boss. I wish there was more of that. And I guess the biggest thing, a lot of people were complaining about no Quidditch. I think I heard something about them making just a Quidditch game just for it. So I doubt they're gonna ever add Quidditch to Hogwarts Legacy. But yeah, man, like the game's awesome. The game's fun. I do recommend it for anybody. Like, you don't even have to be a Harry Potter fan. Just enjoy the game. It's an awesome wizarding experience. But yeah, my biggest complaints would be just more boss fights, and maybe more action, having more action packed rather than focusing too much on the exploration, which is what this game's all about. Exploring. It's mostly about exploration. But the game is fun. I really liked it. If I had to give it a score out of 5, I want to say that I would give it like a 4 out of 5. It's a really good game. It's a really fun game. It can add a lot of more stuff, but yeah, it's a pretty good, solid video game.
You're listening to Dadcast Games.
Oh, and then before I finish this topic here, I do want to mention they added like a new patch. I'm not sure when that patch dropped, but it's like recently. The patch was to, if you're like afraid of spiders, like if you have arachnophobia or something, they added a patch to where, and what that does pretty much is makes the spiders come out with like skates on their legs. So I don't know if you ever watched the Harry Potter series or the movies or whatever. There's a scene where Ron is looking at that boggart, the one where it shows you your biggest fears, and his biggest fear is a spider, right? And what he does is he thinks about something that the spiders can be looking funny on, and the spiders comes out with like skates on their legs, or they're tripping all over themselves. So they added this patch to this game. So if you're afraid of spiders, so whenever you go to like spider infested areas, all the spiders are gonna come out with those skates on their legs. You still have to fight them, but it's funny looking at them. With the big old red eyes and like skates on their legs or whatever. So they added that, which is kind of cool. On top of fixing a lot of other bugs, if I recall, there's a video I watched that they said that they looked at like, I don't know, like 30 pages worth of patch notes or something, like, I don't know, something ridiculous. So they fixed the game. So if you haven't played it yet, there's a lot of patches that they've done that fixes the game. At the end of the day, after it's all said and done, the game's really good. I highly recommend it, but I don't recommend you go for the 100%. It's not worth it. It's boring. It's tedious. It's annoying. By the end of the game, I was just like, man, I never want to touch this game again because I did that. Um, but I don't know. I'm getting older, so I don't really go back to games anyway. It's funny. But yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, really fun game. My experience was positive with it, and I urge you guys to go try it out whenever you get a chance.
You're listening to Dadcast Games.
All right, guys, next topic that I want to talk about, and the reason why I'm releasing this episode a little bit earlier, I'm not going to wait till Saturday to release it, so I might release it either later on tonight or maybe tomorrow, which is the 11th. And the biggest reason for doing that is because Tears of the Kingdom is coming out on the 12th in 2 days. So I do want to talk about that. Is my next topic. I want to talk about Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And the reason I want to talk about it because I had a conversation with two of my friends earlier this week, or like 2 weeks ago or something. And we were talking about if we were going to get the game. And I had mentioned that I cannot support Nintendo for raising the price of, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom to $70. And my biggest reason for that is because to me, it doesn't seem like they have a reason to increase the price. Because the game is coming out on a system that's, on its way out. It's a system that's dated, and the system cannot produce, next gen graphics. My friend made a good point. One of them, I'm not going to say their names because they're always complaining about saying that I'm talking about them, but whatever. So I'm not going to say their names. One of them had a good point. He said that, what about, what if the game has enough to justify that $70 price tag? And yeah, that's a good point. But at the end of the day, Nintendo, in my opinion, Nintendo only increased the price to jump on the bandwagon that, Sony and Microsoft were both raising their prices. But at least they have a reason to, right? A lot of their games are next gen, at least they're supposed to be. Granted, there's a little hiccups here and there with, games coming out really badly, but the fact is that they have next gen graphics. Even then, like, if you remember one of my earlier episodes, I even got mad at that. Like, I don't think it's justified, especially with these, game companies. They come out with a game, it's not even fully cooked, and then they're like, oh, it's fine because we'll just patch it later on to make it better. So I don't know, man. I'm still conflicted by this. Like, I don't know. I just can't support them for increasing the price. I really do want to play it because the game, is awesome. I'm a very big fan of The Legend of Zelda. But I think the only way that I'll buy it is if the game goes back down. Like, I cannot buy the game at $70. Like, it's not that I can't afford it because I can, but I just don't feel like I want to support that, for Nintendo. Like, if they had a new generation console, something better with better graphics or whatever, um, then maybe. But in this, the Switch's lifetime, it's pretty much like I said, it's over. They're not really like they're on their way out. They're not. If Nintendo hasn't started on a new console, like I don't know what the heck they're doing. But yeah, I cannot. I just can't. I'm sorry, I can't. And the other friend, the one, this guy, he's always contradicting me or just trying to push my buttons to make me get angry. He was telling me, then don't buy the game, don't play it. And I don't know if he understood where I was coming from. So I'm going to kind of explain here. It's not that I don't want to play it. It's not that I don't want to buy it, because I do. I just don't want to buy it at $70, right? Like I said, if I could find it on sale for $60 or even cheaper, I will buy it. I am going to jump on it, but I just can't buy it release date for $70, right? Or $69, whatever the price is. But yeah, man, the game looks freaking fantastic. Like, I really do want to play it, but I just can't support Nintendo and their decision of increasing the price, where in my opinion it wasn't really justified. Like, they just did it to just do it, just because all the other companies were doing the same thing. um I guess you can argue. I think I heard somebody say, or I don't know where I read it, but I think I read something about saying that that it was expensive for Nintendo to get those little cartridges where they're gonna put the game in order to release it physically. Like, they had to get chips that were higher, like higher memory or something, like just in order to fit the game, because the game was so big or something like that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Especially in the digital age, the game's gonna release. A lot of people are already jumping ship and just buying digitally anyway. So at the end of the day, that really kind of just, it becomes like a moot point, because the game's coming out digitally. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they can justify the increase. Like, in my opinion, I don't think they can justify it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I did want to talk about it just a little bit. Um, I am excited for it. So I don't think I'll watch anybody play it, because I would want to experience the game myself. But again, I don't know when that's gonna be. Nintendo has a freaking habit of never um, reducing the prices of their games, and there are like different possibilities of me getting the game for cheaper than $70. Like, one example is getting the vouchers from the Nintendo eShop for the Nintendo, what is it called? I don't even know what it's called, but you could get like two vouchers for $100, and you could get any two games, and the Tears of the Kingdom is in there, so you're essentially getting the game for like $50 each, right? Um, so I might get it that way, but like I've mentioned before, there's certain games that I want to buy physically, and Nintendo, one of the biggest things as a collector, I want to keep buying Nintendo games physically for my collection. So I do want to get it physically, in a physical copy for my collection. But if it comes down to being able to play it, maybe my last resort would be to buy it digitally via that voucher thing, because I did buy the voucher, and maybe I'll buy it that way digitally and just play it. And then if I ever do down the road get Tears of the Kingdom, maybe I'll keep it sealed. Maybe it'll get some what is it called? Like, it'll become very valuable later in the future, especially because if you think about it, this is probably going to be one of the biggest games on the Switch's life cycle. Maybe one of the last games, that has an impact for this system. So who knows? Maybe it'll be a valuable game 10 years down the road, when somebody's looking for it for their collection. And I'll have it sealed. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to kind of give these feelings out. Like, I just wanted to say that. Like, I don't know. I cannot support Nintendo for increasing that game for at $70. Should have just kept it at 60. It would have been fine. I don't know. I don't know. I can't support them. And just to be clear here, I do want to play it and I do want the game. Like, you don't understand. I really want to. Like, I really want it. And technically, I haven't bought my game this month. So my whole thing is that I allow myself to buy at least one game every month. So that's a lot of money, huh? If you think about it, $60, $70 a month. That's a lot of money. But sometimes I don't even buy anything. So, and then sometimes they're not even full $60, $70 games. So, but yeah, I didn't buy myself anything this month. And then, at least not yet. And then I didn't buy anything myself for April. But I did get games because April was my birthday. So I did get 2 games out of that. Might as well just mention it. I did get Mega Man 11 for the Switch. And Live Alive, or Live Alive, or Live Alive, or Live Evil. I don't even know how to pronounce that game. But yeah, that game. Got those 2 games for my birthday.
You're listening to Dadcast Games.
All right, guys. I want to start a new segment at the end of every podcast episode just to change it up a little. This is something I've been thinking of. It's going to be kind of like a little trivia kind of segment. And what I want to do is I want to play a snippet of a video game song. And I want to see if you guys can guess what song it is and from what game it is. So I don't know, maybe just something to help with the interaction of this. I hope I don't get like copyright strikes or anything, because I don't know how any of this works. I'm still new to the podcasting scene. So I'm just going to play about 10 seconds of 3 songs, 3 video games. And then I'm just going to see, I'll let you know what song it is. And then let me know how many of you guys got correct. All right. So without further ado, here's song number 1. Oh man, that song is so good. Can you guess what song it is? What game it's from? All right, this is Terra's theme from Final Fantasy 3 in the US, or Final Fantasy 6 in the original Japanese game. So I remember playing this game, dude, back in the Super Nintendo era. And hearing this song was freaking awesome. Where were you when this song came out? Or if you listened to this song, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. Here's song number 2. Oh man, can you guess that song? What is it? What is it? That's right. This is Ninja Gaiden theme for the NES. Man, it's gonna be a lot of older songs, but that I don't know, gets me hyped up. It was a freaking awesome song, huh? It's just so like hype. I don't know. Where were you when you first heard this song? Did you get it? Did you get it right? All right, we go for song number 3. All right, you know what song that's from? That's right. This is a Super Mario Brothers 2 theme. Freaking awesome song. It just brings nostalgia, you know, because when I was little playing this game was awesome. So, how many did you get out of the 3 songs? Did you know all of them? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear about it.
You're listening to Dadcast Games.
All right, guys, that was today's episode. I want to thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, I upload my video version of this podcast on YouTube to Dadcast Games. If you want to check it out, go check it out. Go subscribe there. I also upload gameplay videos of video games that I've played in the past. Like right now, I'm uploading my playthrough of what's it called? The Last of Us Part 2. So this is an old gameplay video that or like playthrough that I did back when it came out a few years ago. So it's not recent, but I am uploading that to YouTube right now to my Dadcast Games channel. I'm not a professional YouTuber or by any means. So don't expect, I don't know, the best gamer out there or the best streamer, because I'm not. I'm just having fun with the games, showing you my reactions to the game. But yeah, go check it out. Don't forget, if you're listening on Spotify, I leave a question or like a poll for you to interact with. So if you're on Spotify, click on the episode, scroll down. There's a little poll that I leave, a little question that you guys can interact with, and just kind of lets me know what kind of people are listening, and just like a question that I ask, and I want to see what the majority of the people think. So like today's episode, probably gonna put something like, are you gonna pay $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, or are you gonna get Tears of the Kingdom when it releases? Something of that effect, and then the possible choice are gonna be yes or no. So I'd like to see that, right? So go ahead and interact if you're on Spotify. Like I said, this is just on Spotify. But other than that, don't forget to share podcast. Don't forget to leave a review. That helps me out. And let me know what you think about the episodes. I'm also on Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, and on iHeartRadio. So if you know anybody that likes video gaming content, video gaming podcasts, share it with them. Let them know that they can listen there as well. I want to thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Later.